Yo, what's going on? This is Keith. It's Black Quarterback Series. We got a lot to talk about. So let's get right into it.
You're fighting against the black quarterback situation, and then you've got people telling you, your friends, saying that you can't make it. It just shows that some of the stigmas that have been against us for so many years are showing that they were just stigmas. I feel like, a black quarterback can never make it in college or professional. Everything's opening up now.
It's not just that black quarterbacks are guys. What you have now is franchise elite passers.
Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Yeah. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Look. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Spent thousands of racks on handmade new rags. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. That's everybody from sports to college class to rap and back.
So yeah, if y'all know, my name is Marquise. I do Black Quarterback Series. We talk about black quarterbacks everywhere. As you'll see from this episode, we go college. We did XFL, and we do where the big dogs play in the NFL. So let's get right into it. So honorable mention, like I said, we do college. So we had a big time college matchup this week. Justin Fields versus I'm gonna butcher his last name, so I apologize for that because I hate when people say my name wrong. Justin Fields versus Michael Penix Jr. So I'm just gonna call him PJ, MPJ for the time being, because I don't want to mess up his name. So these defenses were very good. I didn't realize that these defenses were as good as they was. I hadn't watched none of Indiana. I don't know if it's Indiana State or Indiana University, but I hadn't watched none of Indiana. I didn't even know they had a black quarterback. And so I watched him and I was like, oh, he's on my radar now. So let me go check out on him. So the game starts off, they're rolling. It's a defensive matchup. The defenses were very good. And my bad if I'm struggling to talk about this game, because I don't really watch college football like that. So if I don't know people's names and everything, I apologize for that. But so the defenses were both very good. Ohio State still runs the ball well. Like, I knew that was a stable when Zeke was there, but I didn't know they still ran the ball well. Very well run plays from Ohio State. Justice Fields did not. I don't know if it's Justin or Justice J. Justice Fields did not play particularly well in the first half. The first half or the fourth quarter, because the first half he threw two picks after not even throwing two incompletions in a couple games, So, but on the day he threw three interceptions. He threw 3 interceptions on the day, but his numbers still looked pretty good. There was 18 for 30, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. So he did well enough to win. Indiana, PJ made a great run back into the game to try to get back into the game. But it just wasn't enough. If there was another 3-4 minutes in that game, Ohio State loses that game. Ohio State, it made some timely stops, timely plays on both offense and defense, but PJ would just not be denied. He would not be denied. He played monster. He had a monster second half. His whole numbers was 27-51, 491 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 1 interception. He played phenomenal. Now, I don't know what year he is, so he literally just got on my radar, me watching this game. I feel like I kind of did a poor job explaining this game, but go and watch these highlights, Ohio State versus Indiana, and tell me what you think. Leave the comments below, because these are the future of this series. So I want everybody to get their shine, kind of. So we're going to move into Thursday of the guys that actually get paid to play. Big time matchup Thursday. Russell Wilson versus Kyler Murray. You're going to hear me say this a lot today, probably. It's like looking in a mirror. Y'all know that Spider-Man meme when they're both pointing at each other? That's Russell Wilson versus Kyler Murray. They the same player. And to me personally, it felt like the big brother was showing the little brother, I'm still the big brother for a reason. If you're a man and you have a younger brother, you always know that it's gonna be a point in time you gotta put your little brother in his place because he think he the older one, you know? This was kind of that game. No, they did not dominate. They didn't dominate. But at no point did I think that Arizona was gonna win. At no point. They made Kyler Murray think. He was under fire most of the first half. The O-line, for the most part, couldn't guard nobody. Way too many mistakes that caused a safety. I didn't even know O-line could cause safeties. Just too many mistakes. They made Kyler Murray have to think a little more. His runs were really to just get out of dodge, not really to make a real play downfield. And for the first time all season, I was like, oh yeah, Kyler Murray is a young guy. He actually looked like a young guy for the first time. For some reason, I didn't think to write their numbers down. So this is Kyler Murray's numbers. This is Kyler Murray's numbers right here. Now looking at the game, he didn't play as well as he could have. Like I said, he looked like a young guy. But Russ, as soon as he scored that first touchdown on the first drive, I wrote he got his mojo back. And it looked like he got his mojo back. He didn't need to burn the kitchen down, so to speak, in the first half to keep them in the game. The running game is very important to them. You can tell that they made a concerted effort to run the ball to set up the pass, and Russell Wilson and DK Metcalf got it going. Maybe Russell's role is just an overachieving game manager, because when Russell's an overachieving game manager, they seem to win more. But when he's trying to be Patrick Mahomes, you get 10 interceptions in 3-4 weeks. So maybe that's just the way Russell is. Like, Russell's one of those dudes, like, that's a really, really good feature. Like, he's a really, really good feature. You're like, man, does he have his own album? And then when he has his own album, it's never as good. Maybe Russell Wilson is not that type of quarterback. Like, I love Russell Wilson. He would have been the MVP if he didn't have the slump in the middle of the season. But maybe he's just a overachieving role player. Who knows? It's okay to be Chris Bosh. You know what I mean? So maybe that's what Russ is, because when we let Russ cook, we saw what happened. And now the defense played much better. Like, it was night and day compared to what they did the week before to what they did this week. So maybe that's it. Everything was rolling. Kyler Murray had the ball at the end with 2:24 left. I never thought he was going to get into the end zone. I'd have been very surprised if they'd have scored and won this game. So those are my thoughts on Thursday Night Football. I flipped my thing over, and I've made a video for this already. You guys are going to see that. But I want to give y'all some context first. So the video you're going to watch later, after I get my explanation, it was me right after the game. I talk about some other stuff in that video as well, as far as Jameis Winston and the white dude in New Orleans. I talk about that in that video because I want to get that all out. So before I show y'all that, I want to talk about what I think about Lamar right now. Sleeping on it for 48 hours and, looking at the press conference and all of that stuff. Lamar is not the problem. He's a part of the problem in Baltimore. Lamar Jackson, the throw he made on the touchdown, I can't remember who caught it. That's the throw you want to see Lamar make, right? And even Shannon Sharp said a couple weeks ago, if he can throw like that in the rain, he can throw the ball. So I don't think the problem is Lamar necessarily being like, oh, he can't throw the ball. Like I showed y'all a couple weeks ago, his offensive line went from the second ranked offensive line to like the 12th or 13th offensive line. He has some linemen that retired. Running backs have took significantly step back, and the league is not afraid of him anymore. I wouldn't say they figured him out, but they figured the team out. And that's a Greg Roman problem. I want to see because I don't know if you guys know, I don't know if y'all watched Lamar in college, but Lamar ran a pro-style offense at Louisville. So it's not like he can't run a pro-style offense. His problem was, is he going to be able to take balls under center? So I'm not sure how they're going to go about that, but Greg Roman and John Harbaugh are looking very funny in the light right now. I love John Harbaugh, but if he can't get it done, there's questions I have to think. Because Bill Belichick outcoached him, and it looked like Mike Vrabel outcoached him too. Lamar, 17 for 29, 186 yards, a touchdown and an interception. You got to play better than that. But you account for all the drop passes. You account for him running. Not, like I said with Kyler Murray, running for his life, not running the throw. And just a whole lot of other things. There are bigger problems in this organization than Lamar Jackson. So that's my unemotional opinion about it since I've slept on it. So I'm going to show y'all how I felt after the game. Yo, what's going on, y'all? I'm doing this video separately because I just got done watching Baltimore and I'm utterly pissed off. So I wanted to encapsulate my emotions right at the start so I don't have to like redo this video and drum up the emotions for it, right? Here's Lamar Jackson's numbers. Here's his numbers, his rushing yards, all that good stuff. I'm not even going to address those because he played bad in the second half. What the hell is going on with Baltimore's defense? What the hell was that? A.J. Brown's son, y'all. This game should have been over in regulation. But y'all missed like 15 tackles in that last drive. Like, I don't know what's going on with Baltimore. I have no idea. Lamar played okay. He played okay, but didn't do much of anything in the second half. Just penalties and just they played an up and down game. Like the whole second half was just awful. Like, I don't know what it is about Tennessee, but they have Baltimore's number. Baltimore is not going anywhere. Baltimore is not going anywhere. Even when Lamar plays well, which he didn't in the second half. Even when Lamar plays well, the defense just gives it up. You expect me to believe that y'all are going to go into Kansas City or Pittsburgh and beat one of those teams to get to the Super Bowl? No. I'm sick of Baltimore. Like, to be for real, I am sick of Baltimore. They get up to these nice leads and they do well, and then their defense just gives up. Now I know Calais Campbell is hurt. I know there's a couple of other guys that's hurt, but it don't take much to make tackles. The defense was awful, and the offense was not much better. Now, offense scored 24 points, and that's cool. But this whole team, they need to reevaluate who they are. They're 1-3 in the last month. They need to reevaluate who they are and where they're going. Because the way it's looking now, they're not going nothing. And I say this and I'm upset, and this is hyperbole probably, and I don't care. They will be lucky if they make the playoffs with this type of effort out there on defense. The offense is something else. Des Bryant is getting reacclimated. They need to pass the ball more. Lamar didn't play very well, but I kind of feel like Lamar's passing the ball well, but they didn't pass the ball enough. There was some drop passes that could have been first downs. And Tennessee's defense just played super duper well. So yeah, that's it. Hats off to Tennessee. Apparently that's a rivalry now. And I don't understand. They ran the same 3 plays the whole drive. They ran a Henry dive up the middle. They ran the play action, and off the play action, they either passed, and off the play action, sometimes they would do a rollout where they pass it, or sometimes they run a play action to where they Brian Tannehill runs a loop on it, right? Those were literally the only 3 plays they did, and Baltimore couldn't do anything with it. Baltimore needs to get it together. They're gonna find themselves not in the playoffs. And as much as I don't want to put this on Lamar, you got to close that door. You got to get a touchdown or not a field goal. Now, you had a touchdown with J.K. Dobbins, but they called it back because, of course, there was a penalty. Stuff has to change in Baltimore. Something really has to change in Baltimore because with this type of effort, you're not making the playoffs. You're 3rd in your own division. Now, granted, your division is good, and you have the undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers in your division. and you have Cleveland in your division who's 6-4, or I think they're 6-3. This effort is not going to win you anything. It's not going to win you anything. It's sad to see. It's sad to see. And I love Lamar. Lamar is my favorite quarterback in the league, but y'all got to give him something. He can play as well as he wants. I don't know what his numbers was today. I haven't looked, but they weren't good enough. They wasn't good enough. I can blame everybody else, but ultimately, Lamar, you got to get it done. You got to get it done. And you made a great pass today, but you also had a lot of mistakes. She could have shored up. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say about Baltimore. And I'm gonna address the elephant in the room right now since I'm talking to you guys. Tyson Hill played well today. Y'all can go look at his numbers yourself. I don't feel like he deserves for me to put his numbers up. He played well today. I think he rushed for 2 touchdowns. But I'm gonna leave this with y'all, and then I'm gonna let y'all watch the rest of the video. If Tyson Hill was a brother, would he have got this opportunity? Like, I don't want to be racist. I don't like being that guy, right? But if you have a jack of all trades player who also plays quarterback, and the starting quarterback gets hurt, and there's a drop back passer behind him, but you're an athlete. If the races were reversed, does Jameis Winston start or do Tyson Hill start? Now, I could be wrong, but that's all I'm going to say about that, because that's the problem. I have no problem with Tyson Hill playing. He's a dynamic athlete. That's nothing. But it looks bad because we know if the roles were reversed, that wouldn't happen. You never see black gadget guys get a chance to start in the NFL over a white drop back passer. And that's what happened today. So, that's all I got for y'all. I'm gonna let y'all enjoy the rest of the video. I'm out. Y'all enjoy the rest of the video. So yeah, as you can see, it's night and day between how I felt then and how I feel now. So let's move on to PJ Walker. So PJ Walker, who thought I would be talking about him in the NFL series? He was my star. He was my star in the Black Quarterback Series when I was doing the XFL. So PJ Walker played really well. 24 for 34, 558 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions. 2 awful interceptions, y'all. I don't know if I've seen 2 worse interceptions. These interceptions were so bad. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Like, these interceptions are so bad that it made my face hurt. I'm like, oh my God, bro, these interceptions are awful. Like, what were you looking at? Like, I don't get on people. I don't get on quarterbacks like that because they're doing it. But I'm like, dude, what are you looking at? Like, these 2 were, man, they were awful. They were awful. So other than that, he played well. Really good passer. Took what the defense gave him, and I didn't realize the Lions were that awful. So, yeah, they're that awful. So, good job, PJ Walker. I just hope Teddy gets his job back. Because the coach of PJ Walker, I think he coached him in college. So I hope Teddy gets his job back when he comes back. And before I get into this Deshaun versus Cam game, I want to give a big shout out to Joe Burrow. I have been watching you for a while. Get better soon, bro. Cincinnati did you wrong. I don't want to see you be the next Andrew Luck. You're spectacular to watch. Hopefully you get better. So that's my piece on that. So let's get to another Spider-Man meme. You know, I was telling you about the Spider-Man meme when they pointing at each other. Cam Newton and Deshaun Watson, I have both of their jerseys in my closet. And I know why. It's like looking in the mirror. They both look the same. Cam got out-cammed by a guy who used to look up to Cam. Me and Deshaun My bad, y'all. My phone died. I didn't realize it was that low. So, like I was saying, me and Deshaun are around the same age. I was a sophomore in high school when Cam Newton got drafted. So, I think Cam is around the same age as me. And so, well, not Cam. Deshaun is around the same age as me. So, when I watched Cam at Auburn, I had never seen anything like it. I was younger when Michael Vick is kind of like, not a god, I don't want to say a god, but like he's a mythical figure to me. So I'm like, oh my God, Michael Vick, you know what I mean? But Cam Newton was more close to my age, like I got to watch him grow up. So we got to watch him grow up in the NFL anyway. So to watch Deshaun play like Cam and Cam go right back at him, like it was phenomenal to watch. Like this might have to be the most entertaining game of the week. Spoiler alert, I don't think the Raiders game or the Chiefs game is that interesting, honestly. But this game might have been the most interesting game of the week. I was watching this game live. One go back and forth, do this, boom, boom, boom. Two gladiators just fighting to see who's gonna come up on top. And both teams are awful, so it's pretty much like what you can do, I can do. If you throw a touchdown, I'm gonna run over somebody. And Cam, I'm gonna start with Cam because, man, I'm so proud of Cam. Ever since Cam has been out of COVID, his numbers have been staggering. I'm gonna put a stat up on the screen, but his numbers have been staggering. But today, 24 for 40, 365 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions. I think that's like the second or third game he's not had any interceptions. And I just got all I have on my sheet is they all looked up to Cam, and it's like looking in a mirror, and that's what I wrote down. It was just phenomenal to watch. Cam played well enough to win, but unfortunately, Deshaun made a couple more plays, and Deshaun's defense had J.J. Watt, and Cam's didn't have J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt was a monster. Them last three plays in the game, and Cam's arm strength is not, he's 31. He don't have the type of arm strength that it takes to do a Hail Mary anymore, you know what I mean? So I didn't even expect him to win, but I was disappointed because Cam needed that game more than Deshaun needed, but Deshaun battled. Deshaun was 28 for 37, 344 yards, and 2 touchdowns. It's a classic. It was a classic. If you get a chance to watch those highlights, go watch those highlights because it was a classic. Big shout out to both guys. Great game. It was a great game. Great game either way. As far as two losing teams, neither team lost in my opinion. Cam showed out. He's looking real healthy. If Cam could easily be 6-4. Could you imagine if they were 6-4? Like the Seattle game and one more game I can't remember. The Seattle game and one other game. They should easily be 6-4. So shout out to Cam. I'm proud of you, man. Keep it pushing, bro. This whole series was because I watched you, and it was like, man, why people not talking better about this man? And it's led me down this path. So shout out to both of these Warriors, man. They play phenomenal. So we're gonna get into the last game of the week. Like I was talking about, the Raiders, Kansas City. This game had so many ebbs and flows to it. It was crazy. So the game starts off as a shootout. Like the game was like 14-17, like in the first 15 minutes. And it ended up being 14-17 for a long time, right? And then it turned into a shootout again. You score, I score, you score, you score. Patrick Mahomes threw an interception for the first time in like 56 years. His numbers were 34 for 45, 348 yards, 2 touchdowns, an interception. I got on my sheet, I have Mahomes magic. And that's what he was. He was magical. He was Mahomes. So what do you expect? He had a Mahomes game. He didn't play as well as he could have, but the Raiders defense was doing just enough, and the Kansas City defense was not doing the damn thing. The Kansas City defense is back to what it was earlier last year, and it was like, they're going to have to win a shootout. At this point, if you're gonna play like this, Mahomes is gonna have to put these numbers up every week. I think Mahomes is probably the MVP now because Russell Wilson kind of fell out of that race for throwing all those interceptions. So Mahomes played well. I'm trying to think of any mistakes that he made. Maybe the interception. And the interception wasn't even his fault because the receiver ran the wrong route. So he didn't play a perfect game, but he didn't make any big mistakes that I could think of at this moment. When the Raiders ended up scoring and they left a minute and 43 seconds, I was like, oh, the game over. Chiefs about to win. And people like, oh no, no. The game was over at that point. When you gave the ball back to Mahomes with a minute 43 left, it was over. It was over at that point. That's like in the championship game, in the AFC Championship game against the Patriots, when they gave the Patriots the ball. And I was like, oh dang, it's over. Tom Brady from to draw the ball down the field and score. And that's the same way I felt about this game. They gave Mahomes a whole almost 2 minutes. Come on, man. Mahomes gonna cash that in. And that's like I said, that's some of the problems I have with Lamar, that he can't win those type of games. I love Lamar, but he loses those games. This season anyway. He played big in the other games, but again, better running game, better offensive line. Defense wasn't as hurt for Lamar. So that I would love to see what Lamar could do in this offense, because Andy Reid had Michael Vick, and Michael Vick, until he got hurt, was balling in this offense. So it would be cool. It would be nice to see. But Holmes played well. He's my homeboy, best quarterback in the game. Probably gonna go down as the best quarterback ever to play football. So that's that. So that's pretty much all I got for y'all. For the second week in a row, we had two guys playing each other. Well, we had two games where two of these guys were playing each other, and both of them were magical. And it's like the old guard looking at the younger guys trying to take the young guys trying to take the old guys' spots, and the older guys are not letting them. So it's a great dynamic we got in this series and in football in general. So that's it for me. I'm about to go edit. I'll see y'all later. Get better, Burrow.
Elite passers.
Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Yeah. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Look. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Spent thousands of racks on handmade new rags. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. That's everybody from sports to college class to rap and back.